Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. And it is Saturday, which means it is Star Trek time. And I have a full crew today. Hello, Skeptalk.
Hey, nice to see
Hel-
you, Blind Press.
Hello, the One Ton Hammer.
Hello.
Hello, Irate Prostate.
Greetings.
And hello, Dr. Functional.
Oh, sorry, coffee. Hi.
It's all good.
it,
And we.
hey, it could be worse. Harry had me shooting risotto out of my nose earlier.
Oh, God. Ow.
Yeah.
That sounds
That's Harry.
horrifying.
You shouldn't be putting it up your nose to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, they try
It's an
like
idea.
they try to tell us that like eating through the mouth is the way to go, but I just don't like it.
Oh, risotto out the nose. God damn. That just sounds.
Indeed.
Oh, God.
He made me laugh. He made me laugh a lot.
I guess. Um, so we're here today to discuss kind of feuds behind the scenes because, well, William Shatner took a trip to the edge of space this week on the Blue Origin capsule. And George Takei was incredibly unbecoming about it. And it led me to think, hey, let's talk about that as well as, because there have been some other behind the scenes things that, I figured, hey, why don't we talk about that today? So, for those of you who missed the video that I did on Friday, George Takei had a really shitty things to say about William Shatner's trip into space.
Was it? Oh my! Another white man in space.
It was worse.
Oh Jesus!
It was way worse. It's ridiculous. And Bishop is right. He goes, the Takei Shatner feud is over 30 seconds of screen time. Yeah, it really is. It's over 30 seconds of screen time, and the fact that Sulu's character had to wait a movie to get captaincy. That is why this is all a thing.
Oh, I wish I had my soundboard right now.
I know. Right?
So petty.
George Takei was asked about what he thought about Shatner going into space, and basically Takei said that Shatner, I guess it's just, this they have to use an old guy to test what space can do to old people, and it's, I guess, he's as good a specimen as any, but he's 90 and he's not in that great a shape, so he's not really a fit specimen. And I'm sitting there going, like, he's basically saying that they used Shatner as a science experiment. He also called him a guinea pig. Basically saying that they were using Shatner's fame as a smokescreen to test what the effects of space travel would be on elderly people. And I'm sitting there going, okay, not only does this make you look salty as hell, Mr. Takei, but historically speaking, Japanese Americans and Jewish people, not very long ago, were spoken of in just such a manner.
Sure.
And for a Japanese American whose family actually spent time in an internment camp, and to be addressing somebody who is, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it was just so, on so many levels, it was it was unbecoming as just a fellow actor who is, commenting on somebody else getting to do something cool. It was unbecoming as, hey, you're a part of the Star Trek franchise and somebody you worked with got to go to space. What do you think about that? And as in a historical context, like, oh my god, like all boxes of just absolute shitty behavior were checked. And this is all over, as Bishop said in chat. 30 seconds of screen time, and the fact that Sulu didn't get to be captain in Star Trek 5. He had to wait to be captain till Star Trek 6.
I mean, the guinea pig thing might have something to do with it, but when I first heard this news of them going to send Shatner into orbit, I was thinking, first of all, oh, this is a really good marketing scheme, a very good way to get people, especially the American people, reinvigorated about space exploration.
Yes.
Because they've been trying, and people are like, oh, well, Elon's going, and, fuck Elon Musk, and, oh, look, Jeff Bezos is going, and fuck Jeff Bezos. It's like, why? Why do you hate people who are trying to do new and exciting things that might, once again, expand our technological and philosophical horizons?
Not to
This
mention,
has happened in recent history.
Not to mention, Jeff Bezos is like the ultimate, good, like, underdog making it story, right? Like, he was not born a rich man. He was born a very he was in a single parent family, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then his mother remarried, and then Jeff Bezos actually worked to get where he is. He wasn't handed anything.
Yeah. I mean, he started off pretty small and then took a risk and made it big.
Apparently
That's
the American dream, right? Is to do that, is to come from nothing and make it big. So why are you shitting on somebody for doing that? And somebody in chat says, Jim Beam says, George is an angry, irrelevant little man. He really, it was just so unbecoming.
And whose fault is that?
His.
Yeah.
All his fault. And he's sitting there talking about how old and decrepit William Shatner is. And I'm like, dude, you're 84. You're not...
You're no spring chicken.
You're not that far off, dude. You, really? It was really, really disgusting to read those, an unfit guinea pig and, a specimen. He kept calling him a specimen. It was just...
Gotta get them internet points for whatever reason.
It was just, and I don't understand. This feud is probably the most, the most well known. Because honestly, George made it so public.
It's been going on for quite a while, though.
It has. It's been going on for decades, and it's all because George.
He didn't get to be captain on account of Shatner.
Yeah.
Asking for a script change.
Yeah. And George took that as Shatner wanting to further his career at the expense of other people, and it's
because he needed to advance his career on the back of Sulu.
Yeah,
because that makes sense.
It's just and
said the fact, nobody ever,
right, and the fact that the only reason that this feud is even known about is that George Takei made it public. He went around and was like, William Shatner is this kind of blah 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 blah. And I wish I could find it now, because William Shatner used to have a TV show Pincalo and I, when we used to have cable, we would watch it every now and then, and it was an interview show. I can't remember the title of it off by heart, but
It was a good show. I remember that show.
he would interview different people, and he actually had Walter Koenig on at one point. And Walter Koenig was saying like some of the same things that Sulu was saying, like that you overshadowed us, and basically whining, right? You overshadowed us, blah blah. You took over everything that we were doing, and it was like
It was called Raw Nerve.
Runner.
He had
That's
been
it.
on two of the best episodes of the Twilight Zone ever.
Yep.
Right? I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
Shatner had the acumen.
Yeah.
When he had Star Trek, he had done stuff, and not I don't think that Koenig or Takei could either say that.
No, they couldn't.
Maybe a minor role as a fucking Jap soldier
Yeah.
in a World War II movie or something.
Well, that's the idea, IP. He's a white male, and they're handed a green card from birth
Yep.
that lets them get anything and everything they want.
Yep. Nothing bad ever happens to white men.
I
Ever.
don't-
I was under the impression he was a Canadian Jewish person of Russian descent that he went to Hollywood, busted his ass,
Yeah.
and got jobs.
Ah,
Da,
well,
comrade.
that's a hate fact.
Yeah.
He's just like me.
That's a hate fact. You can't say that. You can't say that Shatner's a Jewish person who's from
Come on,
Canada.
man.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on, man.
The thing.
Oh my god, it's just, and honestly, that's why, like, I keep saying this. That's why I've unfollowed most of the Star Trek actors, because they've just lost their minds. Like LeVar Burton has lost his mind. Like Marina Sirtis, Jonathan
She was always
Frakes,
a little
Robert
wacky.
Picardo, Brent Spiner. Yep. Brent
Jonathan
Spiner.
Frakes is
That too.
unbearable.
Brent
Picardo.
Spiner. I saw Brent Spiner talking about let's turn Texas blue, like all this stuff, like because he lives in Texas, right?
Yeah,
he's
he does.
Yeah, he's a Texas boy. So like I just unfollow them. I don't pay attention to the bullshit that they have to say, and I just watch I just watch the movies and pretend that
You got to separate the art from the artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when
Yeah.
they're that far out there.
yeah.
I know Marina Sirtis has always been kind of
Yeah.
a little kooky, even from the early years. But
Yeah.
I didn't know that about the rest of them.
Yeah, it's really
I know
sad.
Patrick Stewart, but I mean, Patrick's just talking from more a philosophical standpoint than a political one. And the only reason I really pay attention to what's been going on post Trek is because he did a lot of Shakespeare readings online, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. It's just Patrick sitting in a lounge chair with his cat, like reading Shakespeare. What's
That would
not
be
to love?
amazing.
It was amazing. It was great.
And I'm sorry, but Patrick Stewart as freaking Avery Bullock in American Dad, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. That's one of the reasons I love American Dad, is anytime it's an episode with Avery Bullock, I'm like, yes, yes. Oh my god. So
Can I say something
of
about
course,
the
please.
thing between Sulu and Kirk? Okay. The accessibility to equipment that will safely take a group of people above the Von Karman line
Yeah.
and technically into what we call outer space, low Earth orbit, or low, above a certain level, is as it's become available to people who have the right money or connections
Yes.
or are useful in some way, which is what Shatner was to Bezos. That was a great PR move,
Yes.
and that was what that's why Bezos got him.
Clout.
Pardon me.
Clouds.
Clout.
Clout.
Yeah.
Clout. I got you.
Big cloud. Yeah.
So the but what to call the people who go up in what amounts to a glorified elevator car astronauts, or even worse, pilots.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I noticed that one of the other astronauts in one of the other rides, one of the SpaceX rides, was designated a pilot and was the first plus size woman of color to ever pilot a spacecraft. She had no piloting duties. There was absolutely nothing. All she did was sit there.
Yeah.
Even if there was an emergency, all she would do is sit there. She had to do no training. There were no skill involved, nothing at all. She happens to have a private pilot's license. And so they designated her the first black female pilot in space. Okay, not and so there is a lot of bullshit going on. There's a lot of play acting going on. People pretending things are real that are not, in the service of certain narratives. Mm-hmm. And what happens is, I think that generates a certain amount of anger among people like me who expect somebody who is designated an astronaut to at least be somebody who's trained and capable and athletic and all that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
And so that's probably understandable, but I don't think that's the source of the problem that George Takei had. George Takei doesn't have a problem with any of that narrative-driven pushing stuff.
No.
What he has a problem is that he wasn't chosen.
No, he wasn't asked.
And they missed a chance to get a Star Trek actor who was a man of color from a disenfranchised group, being a gay man.
Yeah.
He's also of a much less talented actor than Shatner, and so that's even more disenfranchised because it's harder to get jobs, when you don't have as much acting ability.
Yeah.
And I think that was the source. I really think that was the source of his resentment. He sees this guy who he blames for what he thinks was a career setback, which it probably was not. Nobody really cared, George. We just didn't care. And it's not that we hate you. We just don't care about you.
Yeah.
It's the worst. That's the worst kind of slap in the face, and a fragile, puffed up, pampered ego like that does not take what it views as a slap like this well, and it views almost everything that doesn't make that ego feel good as a slap. That combination of things, plus the public's willingness to pay attention to this asshole every time he opens his mouth, has resulted in what we're doing on the stream, which is continuing to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And but he's just a whiny little bitch man, as far as I can tell.
It was very disappointing, like to just see like a grown man, be that. Like I literally was just imagining the scene from Young Frankenstein when Gene Wilder first tries to get the creature alive and it doesn't work, and he just starts beating his fists, and he's like, I do not want to live. And freaking Marty Feldman just looks over at the assistant. Quiet, dignity, and grace.
Quiet, dignity, and grace.
Yeah. I just picture like that's what I picture when I see when I read that. What hump? Never.
I love that
Let's
shit.
go.
Well, all right, something I didn't want to mention is that somebody on Twitter said that Takei has been really vocal speaking out against Shatner. Yet Shatner had yet to post anything personal to Takei. Is
That's
that
because
correct?
that is correct. I think there's been a couple of times when he's quote tweeted George,
Right.
but he's not even said it. Like, he's not really aired any dirty laundry about him. He's just been like, most of it's been like rolling eye emojis
Yeah.
or like laughing, like the face with the laughing tears.
He has said that he pities George Takei.
Yeah.
He said there's obviously, this is almost a direct quote, there's obviously some psychosis there.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Addressing it with a little bit more dignity than
Yeah.
George has been.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and in the raw nerve because Walter Koenig was just going off on him, like he was getting loud and excited, and Shatner was like, why didn't you guys ever say anything while we were doing all of this? Why is this all coming out later? Like, I would have been happy to talk to you guys about, like, as adults. Like Shatner just stayed super calm and dignified with Koenig as well. And like, it just shows the difference and honestly the degree of character.
For sure. Yeah.
Between
and maturity.
Yeah. Between people like George Takei and Walter Koenig and William Shatner.
I think it's interesting that Walter Koenig has written not one autobiography, but two. I know.
I didn't know that.
I mean, Samuel Johnson did not have two biographies.
No.
He barely had one.
William Shatner doesn't even have two biographies.
No. But here we are with Walter Koenig. He wrote Chekhov's Enterprise. That was the name of his first one.
Right.
And then the second one was, what is it? It's Beaming Up and Getting Off, Life Before and Beyond Star Trek. So an update to his 1998 autobiography, Warped Factors. That's what the other one was Warped Factors.
So
yeah.
he thinks he was so important in Star Trek that he needs to write two books about Star Trek.
Yeah, basically.
Chekhov, you were just a fucking...
I love that he says, I don't want to just rest on past laurels.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So he says, when I go to make public appearances, I would love to present a current list of accomplishments, and unfortunately, they have been less in abundance before I wrote the first autobiography. So at least he seems to have a little bit of self-deprecating humor about what a loser he is.
Yeah.
Say nuclear vessels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how many times he gets to ask that.
Oh, that was a huge thing in Futurama.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Say nuclear vessels. No. Come on, say it. Oh, fine. Nuclear vessels.
Actually, I think Anton Yelchin, isn't that his name? Yelchin? Yeah. Was a better actor. And
for sure.
Yeah.
Bishop says maybe he was told he didn't badmouth Shatner well enough in the first one.
There's that possibility.
And then Elwin says, the other one with a huge stick up his ass and a huge victim mentality is Will Wheaton. Yes. Oh my God. Will Wheaton is... And he's so, like... I've heard he barely goes to conventions.
Are you talking about Walter Koenig?
Will Wheaton.
Oh, Will Wheaton, yeah.
Yeah, I hear he barely goes to conventions. Apparently he blocks anybody on Twitter that says "Shut up, Wesley."
I should put that in my
Oh, my
bio.
goodness.
Then.
Yeah,
gotta
hashtag shut up, Wesley. Yeah.
I'm going to see if I'm blocked by him, and if not, why not?
At Will Wheaton, shut up, Wesley.
I'm proud to say, I think I'm pretty certain he was the first person who blocked me on Twitter when I was on Twitter for all of 15 minutes.
So, the other...
I mean, but before we move off, Will, I can kind of understand it to an extent. Child actor,
Yeah.
you're thrust into what really amounts to a huge role in a hugely successful show that nobody who was watching the show was a fan of.
Yeah.
And you're surrounded by people, for all intents and purposes, who are really great actors. From Patrick Stewart to LeVar, Jonathan, Marina, Michael, Brent,
Gates, McFadden.
Gates, they were all really good actors in their own rights. But he was not. And I think he took that really, really hard because, again, look at his age compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
He was a child when he first started on that show. He was literally a child.
Now he gets to be known as the fat kid from Stand By Me and Wesley.
Yeah.
Those are his... Those are his...
Oh my God, I'm blocked.
He's probably got one of those bots.
Nice.
You can't follow or see at Will W's tweets.
Elwin
Nothing
says,
of value was lost.
Elwin says, I met him, was not pleased. Pincalo says, I've been blocked by Will Wheaton for 5 years now. That's true. He has.
Oh, that's funny. That's interesting. I did not realize that. I must have said, I probably talked to you about it. You probably told me about it, and I instantly would have typed in "shut up, Wesley," and probably got myself blocked, but I don't remember doing it. Huh.
I'm not.
Pardon me?
I'm not blocked.
Pincalo, actually, yeah, that's
Challenge
true.
accepted.
Pincalo says, I was actually legitimately blocked by him. I was not bot blocked. That's true. He actually was, was in a tweet thread and he said something. I can't remember what it was. He said something to Will Wheaton and Will Wheaton blocked him.
And I should say, with my understanding of the situation, I by no means am agreeing with the way he carries himself or anything like that.
Yeah.
I can I have this knack of being able to put myself into somebody else's shoes and getting a feel for why they're such an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm gonna segue into the next person. The only person I know of that had, outside of the TOS crew, because there was a lot there that I'm sure we'll touch on, but I was a TNG kid.
Yeah.
The one thing I knew was that Pulaski, I forget the actress's name.
Diana
Muldaur.
Muldaur, yeah.
Okay. She didn't get along with anybody on the crew.
Well, I'm not shocked.
Neither am I, really, if she's anything like her character and anything like the kind of snippiness I saw in one interview.
Yeah.
But I know that she never got along with anybody. How do you not get along with Patrick? He seems like one of the most genuine, still level-headed actors who's had quite the career in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
He played Professor X. He's played one of the biggest sci-fi icons, one of the biggest comic book icons.
He was also great in little throwaway movies.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Mastermind?
Yeah.
That's an awesome movie. And he's a villain. Patrick Stewart plays a villain, and it's great.
Oh yeah. And
It's awesome.
Gurney and Dune.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah. And he seems like such a down-to-earth, even in interviews.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like just such a down-to-earth guy, and a guy that likes to laugh. He seems like he's always got some sort of humorous outlook on any
Just everything in
situation.
life. Yeah. Because I mean, he even pokes fun at himself, and he's posted pictures. He was passed out on the couch with a book collapsed in his lap and 2 cats under his arms, and he posted that picture because he thought it was hilarious.
Yep.
Such a class act, that man.
Pincalo says, I bet you it was because she was only temporary, but she wasn't supposed to be temporary.
No, she wasn't. She was supposed to be
She
the
was
new doctor,
yeah,
but because of the problems, that's why
the
that was
fans
one of the
demanded her back, demanded Beverly back because they just Pulaski just struck the wrong nerve. Like the actress was just cold,
not meshing with anyone on the crew.
Not meshing with anybody, and then I felt like they tried to write too much, like they tried to make a female McCoy without any of the like country doctor charm. It was just the bitchy side of McCoy, because McCoy could be a very bitchy man.
Oh yeah,
but he also had that, that charming southern country doctor feel that kind of endeared him to you even when he was bitching at you. Pulaski was just mean.
Cold, mean.
And cold and argumentative.
Always right, even when she wasn't.
Yeah, the first thing she did on board when Deanna was pregnant, she didn't even go to Captain Picard and calmly was like, okay, this is the situation. She was Captain came into 10 forward to reprimand her for not, reporting for duty, right? And the first thing she says to him, instead of, I'm sorry, Captain, I know I should have reported for duty, but this happened, it was, sit down, Captain, you'd better hear this. And it's just like, that is not, what was it that Worf said? Not the best way to meet your commanding officer.
I will say the only person who did, and of course it was like one of the only shining lights of that series that did that sort of country doctor McCoy any justice was Carl Urban in the JJ verse.
Yes.
To me, it was one of the only shining lights.
Him and Simon Pegg.
Pegg as Scotty?
Simon Pegg as Scotty were like the only reasons
Yelchin
I bothered
as Chekhov.
to watch.
I mean, the casting was there. So I mean, but to relate it back to like Pulaski, you can see, you can recapture that level of charm, even though he was playing a reimagined McCoy. You could still get that kind of character and not have it come off, for lack of a better word, offensive.
Yeah.
Because when you have someone on screen like Pulaski, acting the way she does, partially part of the writer's problem is that, you almost touched on it before, BP. They were trying to compact too much into each episode to try to make up for lost time and to build this character into somebody who's as recognizable as Jean-Luc or Data or Geordi, and that double-pronged sort of offensiveness that didn't work to the viewer. And correct me if I'm wrong, or if somebody has a different take on that. I think that all these different factors played the perfect storm, and just like, no,
I think you're right, because it was funny when McCoy called Spock a green-blooded goblin.
Yeah.
It wasn't funny when Pulaski told Geordi there's no point in playing Sherlock Holmes with Data because he just doesn't get the mystery. She's
constantly demeaning Data.
Yeah.
And Worf too. When he breaks his spine.
Yeah. Oh no, that's a different episode.
Sorry, not the spine. There was something that the meat. No, not.
Oh, when he had the measles, and she was kind of making fun of him. Rumpak Ungor.
Yeah. But I mean, in that scene as well, I just remembered that Worf was sick. It all kind of blends together. My whole adult brain. Maybe I should be sent into space. The scene at least ended with her, my lips are sealed kind of moment.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. But everything leading up to that was just so awkward,
Yeah.
felt weird.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This man curled up. This Klingon curled. What was it? Fell over, curled up his toes, and fainted. And Worf's like,
Klingons do not faint.
it's like, but it was just the way she just rubbed it in. It was like,
Yeah,
dude, really?
It's just mean for mean's sake. Where DeForest Kelly, there would have been some level of joviality, or maybe not too familiar, because if you're playing that role where you're just being you're just starting to interact with this other character, he might be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Tactful?
Yeah.
In how we approach something like that. Because I mean, come on, he's a Klingon. He's for all our similarities supposedly between humans and Klingons, they're very different species.
They are.
Very different cultures. And even on a basic level, male and female.
Yeah.
Like, and none of it didn't feel like that character gave any consideration to any of that.
Nope.
Not that you have to tiptoe around someone,
But
you
just
don't
read the
intentionally
room.
demean them.
No,
Yeah,
read-
exactly.
you read the room.
You read the room. You don't demean them. You don't try to be overly offensive without at least coming across as joking. Again, you reference DeForest and Leonard with that green-blooded goblin, the way he delivers it, but there's also been that familiarity, and that's adding to their relationship. It's building upon a pre-existing relationship.
Yeah. Like, for Christ's sakes, who did Spock choose to carry his soul?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how much more of a friend could you possibly be? Like, and it wasn't, like, everyone just says, oh, well, McCoy was there, it was convenient. No.
Well,
No,
he was really the only person there.
I think if there had been two people there, if it had been McCoy and somebody else, it, like, maybe if Jim had been there, it would have been Jim, but, like, Jim and McCoy are, like, Spock.
He was smart enough not to give it to a red shirt.
No.
Or to Nurse
Chapel.
Yeah.
But,
that was, like, there was more to that than McCoy was just there. It was, this man will keep me safe until my other friends can help me.
because that relationship really was a relationship of three.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Kirk,
three
McCoy,
friends.
and Spock. They were the three amigos in space. They were the three musketeers in space.
I think the only part of Star Trek V that I like is where they're camping. Like at the beginning, where they're camping and they're arguing with each other. And Kirk is climbing and Spock's got the hover shoes.
Rocket boots, yeah.
Yeah. That's like the only good part of Star Trek V. That and, excuse me, what does God need with a starship? And then we have probably the least known, unless you're a really good Trek fan, the least known feud.
I resent that. Sorry.
The least known feud would between Kate Mulgrew and Jerry Ryan. You wouldn't know it.
This is the one I want to hear about.
You wouldn't know it if you saw their on-screen, like, scenes together. But apparently Janeway really resented.
Here's what I understand about that. And Kate Mulgrew came out and actually came close to apologizing for her own behavior toward Jerry Ryan. And she said, I was out there, a woman representing and all that stuff. And yeah, I was doing my job. I was professional, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough girls. So they brought in this basically, and she used the term, basically a TNA character to come in and be half Borg and all female. Yeah, exactly. and she said, I resented that. I resented all the attention she was getting. Jerry Ryan demanded a lot of attention on the set. She, would have to go to the bathroom in the middle of a scene a scene shoot.
That would be
And
frustrating.
It took them 2 hours to peel the costume off.
Yeah, to peel the costume off. She'd have her go to the bathroom, put it back on, and Kate Mulgrew laid down the rule that she was not to go to the bathroom while they were shooting. They didn't enforce that particularly, but Jerry Ryan really objected to what she felt was being badly treated. I think there was probably bad behavior on both their parts.
Sure.
Kate Mulgrew came out and said that she wished that she had done things differently at the time and had been a little bit more understanding and mature toward it and regrets her behavior. She stopped short of, saying we've reconciled and, I said I was sorry because she obviously thinks that there is fault on Jerry Ryan's side. And the whole thing seems kind of silly to me.
It's just, I would agree. As Grillin' Pirate Pete says in chat, two women being catty to each other. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, stop the presses.
Yeah. There was actually a news broadcast. Kate Mulgrew had been interviewed, and I was watching it. It's a few years old now. I think she had put out a book, and she was being interviewed about the book, and apparently, when she was a child, she had a baby sister that actually died. And for years, Kate actually thought that she killed her sister by accident, because she had her mother, like, she had just been trying to help her mom out, and her sister was thirsty, so she just gave her a little bit of water to drink. And then, like, her sister ended up, I think it was, like, SIDS or something like that. But it was just the timing and, like, in a child's brain.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she was like, oh my God, I gave my sister, like, a couple of sips of water. And she's dead now. I killed my sister. So, like, that's... Like, that was a big part of Kate's life growing up, that living with the fact that she thought she killed her baby sister.
Wow.
It's like, holy fuck, dude.
Mulgrew was born with, was it 2 sets of teeth, upper and lower?
I think so.
There was something about that. I can't remember what that was.
She's a mutant. Get her.
Well, that is actually a known medical thing, that it actually happens. One out of every 2,000 or 3,000 babies is born that way. And it says, I'm looking this up. Okay, when Mulgrew was 4 years old, her baby sister Maggie died not long after being in Mulgrew's care for a few hours. The cause of death was most likely SIDS, but to this day she hasn't forgiven herself.
Yeah.
And then in college, Mulgrew got pregnant, chose to have the baby, a girl, and give her up for adoptions. And she's had a few knocks in her life.
Yep.
Sure.
And you can honestly see that, like, in the way that she plays Janeway. You can kind of see it, like, because, Janeway's character, she, in a couple of episodes, we see that, it wasn't all roses for her.
Janeway comes off as hard-bitten, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
She has to put up that she's a commander, so a captain, so she has to put up that facade, but there's still flaws that, even though we may have seen 1 or 2 on screen, there was still more behind the scenes that we weren't privy to, that just sort of added to the mystique and the completeness of the character.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I wanted to touch on, because I didn't know about their sort of friction between the two of them as actors. Because of that, both of them are really good actresses.
They are.
And
you couldn't tell. You wouldn't be able to tell.
I think that lended a lot to the whole not knowing.
And honestly, I think that to their credit as actresses, they were able to not show their resentment, but also kind of use that energy, that resentment energy
Yes.
towards each other in scenes where Janeway and Seven butt heads.
Yeah.
Well, and good actors will do shit like that.
Yeah.
Right. They'll take energy that they have naturally and and use it in their craft.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Like in the Omega Directive. They're arguing about whether 7 of 9 is going to even help, because she to the Borg, the Omega particle is basically the closest thing to God, right? As you'll get perfection. And Janeway wants to destroy it, and 7 and Janeway get into this argument, and you can tell there's knowing, because I didn't know that about the feud between them until very last year or so, and now that I look and watch that episode, it's you can feel it. You can feel that I really want to reach out and just bitch slap you right now, kind of feeling.
Attitude, yeah.
Yeah.
Were there any others? Because I can't think of one. Well, again, I'm not very privy or up to speed on any of this. I don't look too much behind the scenes in DS9 or Enterprise, because I know DS9 was quite the opposite. There were a lot of BFFs going on.
Yeah.
We of course know that Nana and Alexander Siddige were married for a point, had a child together. I know that Nana and Renee were good friends. I know that Avery Brooks and Sirach Lofton were huge friends.
Yeah.
Sirach and oh God, I forget his name, and I feel terrible because he's not with us anymore. Nog.
Who do you play? Aaron.
No.
We're also massive friends.
Yeah.
I don't was there any friction?
I don't think there was much friction on, and every time I look at the TNG stuff, it looks like most of them are pretty good friends too. I know that Marina Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes are very, very good friends in real life. I know that Whoopi Goldberg and LeVar Burton are good friends. I know that Whoopi Goldberg got on Star Trek because she talked to LeVar, and she was like, I asked Gene Roddenberry and he didn't think I was serious, but I am. So
you can pass that along.
So
and here we are with one of the greatest non-com characters, non-commissioned
awesome
characters in all of Star Trek. Guinan was one of my favorite non-officer characters in the entirety of Star Trek.
Yep.
Such a great little nugget of, just normal, even though she wasn't human, just a normal person in that life, in the Starfleet life that was a recurring character.
That was such a great idea, too.
It was.
And they just right person, right idea, great writing, and right time.
And I'm so happy she inserted herself.
To have 10 forward on a ship like the Enterprise and kind of just give a glimpse into here's what's going on when things aren't going crazy on the bridge. Here's where everyone goes when they're off duty and they're not in their quarters. And here's this really awesome bartender who's from a race of people called the Listeners. My name is Guinan. I tend bar, and I listen. I love that line. That's my... and then Elowen says, what about Garrett Wang being a total pervert with fans? I didn't know about that. I didn't know Garrett Wang was all creepy with fans.
A creepy guy.
From accounts, he was kind of a dick too.
Not
very appreciative of
Jack
fans.
Cochran tells a story about meeting Garrett Wang, and apparently he asked him what time it was or something like that, or
Elwyn too. She has a story where he was just being a complete clown. Excuse me.
My uncle, he's no longer with us, but when I was very very young, like a baby, his wife, her friend was a hairdresser, and James Doohan came in, and she like cut his hair and trimmed up his sideburns and stuff. And she kept his hair, and
Yeah.
my uncle had like a bag of James Doohan's sideburns somewhere. I'm like, dude, you should sell that on eBay. Fuck. He would be rich.
You know, Gary Wang almost killed Harrison Ford
Really?
In real life.
Wow.
Wang was late for a meeting, and he was screaming through the parking lots. And he came around a corner, and this guy in a suit just walks right in front of his car. He slammed on the brakes, controlled the skid, and lurched past him, missed him by 1 foot, and it was Harrison Ford. And he would have killed him. I'm just would not have even been close. He's going like 40 miles an hour through a parking lot.
Wow.
Jesus.
And came around a bend and really did almost kill Harrison Ford. That's the only story I know about.
That's
Garrett Wang.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So that would have been something.
Pinkalo says that's funny.
What are you famous for?
Pinkalo says that's funny. His wife has been posting videos of him with him on TikTok. Oh, really?
What kind of videos?
Garrett Wong's on TikTok. That's funny.
It's weird, really.
No, what's weird is finding fucking Sharon Lois and Bram on TikTok.
Really
Yes.
interesting.
That's weird. And especially because they sound old. Like, you can hear it, especially in Bram's voice. You're like, oh, wow. You are up there. For those of you who are going, who the fuck are those people? Canadian children's singers.
Yeah, entertainers. They had a TV show.
Yeah.
They did albums. They did,
Yeah.
little kiddie concerts and all those kinds of things. It was a big part of our childhood in the
Yeah.
Early 90s.
Yep.
So was there anything else, BP, that
I
were
don't
like
think so.
big
I really don't think
kerfuffles
there was
between actors?
any other big kerfuffles. The George Takei one is the George Takei one was the really big one because he made it so big.
Yeah.
The only other thing I could think of was Jolene Blaylock and Brandon Braga, but he's not an
Oh,
actor.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
She
But
didn't.
then, of
he's
course,
not.
Her first interview was with him, so she turned on the role.
Oh,
She had to be talked into it.
really?
Yeah, when she interviewed with him, she didn't like him,
Oh,
so she turned down the role. It was down to 3 people. I don't remember who the other 2 people were that were going to be to Paul, but she went in for the first interview, the initial interview of the 3. She met with Brandon Braga, and she's like, "I don't like you. Fuck off."
yeah.
And she never liked his writing anyway, all the way through the series anyway. She never liked the way he wrote her.
And didn't Terry Farrell have issue with
What made her want to leave? Was she just done
she
playing?
wanted more money, and she had
Oh.
problems with
She started a family. She had a kid.
I know that
What was the
Kirstie Alley hates William Shatner.
Kirstie Alley hates everybody.
Well, kind of. I mean, he was very critical of her acting abilities. In fact, he either suggested or actually hired a tutor to come on the set and help her act.
Well, she's not really a very good actress. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I I think
I'm
the
sorry, when
appropriate thing to do is to say thank you.
Yeah, when a guy like William Shatner goes, "Hey, I think you could use a bit of help. Here, let me get you a tutor." You know what you do? You go, "Thank you, Mr. Shatner, sir."
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what you do.
One actress he loathed working beside was Kirstie Alley, who starred alongside him in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Although George Takei famously commented on Alley and William Shatner not getting along, Alley confirmed the truth to the rumors in an interview with Howard Stern. Alley said that Shatner disliked her acting so much that he actually hired a tutor to help her improve her skills. The tutor had her cut out images of people that represented her character in order to help her acting. Shatner also apparently did something that Alley deemed inappropriate on the set, but she firmly declined the actor's advances.
Snap.
Yeah, well, she was attractive before she fattened up.
Yep.
Now she's a
Absolutely.
land whale, but she was attractive back in the day.
Everybody should hate Kirstie Alley, says Elwin.
It's not inappropriate.
I'm thinking of the right person when I'm thinking of Cheers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes. You've got it. You're
Yeah,
dialed
and
in.
I didn't like her character then. I
Diane was so much better.
Yeah. And even Diane drove me a bit crazy.
But that was the character.
But
Not
that
to
was
get
the
too
point.
too off onto
She
non-Trek.
was-
She was supposed to be that sort of neurotic.
Yeah, she did it better than yeah.
Excuse me.
And honestly, I didn't like because Kirstie Alley was Savick, right?
Mm-hmm.
In
Yes.
Wrath of Khan.
Yes, correct.
I liked the Savick in
I like
Star Trek
replacement.
3.
I liked replacement Savick.
Yeah, her name is Robin Curtis, the replacement.
Yeah.
No, is it? Wasn't it? What's her name? Oh shit, I can't remember her name from Porky's.
Oh.
That wasn't Savick. That was another person. That was another character.
Yeah.
Elwin says, "Let me guess, the tutor wasn't Scientology approved."
Nice.
Well done, Elwin. Well done.
I'm getting Robin Curtis was the replacement. So
Robin
like Hammer-
Curtis. That's
like,
it.
Hammer.
That's what I
That's
said.
it. Robin
That's exactly what
Curtis.
Hammer
Yeah,
said.
that's what Hammer said.
Oh
guys.
yeah, with the curly hair. That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, my friends, I think we've come to the end of the show, and Skep has an idea for next week. It was what was it? Adding
If you take people from other franchises and added them into Star Trek, or take famous Star Trek people and added them to other franchises, like Star Wars is the obvious one, but there you could do Dune, you could do lots of other things. Who would Spock bond with in Dune, for example? Who would Bones hate if he was on Tatooine?
Would Doc and C-3PO get along, or would Doc end up just
Murdering him.
dismantling C-3PO?
Disintegrate him.
Do not
Yeah.
disassemble me.
How would Captain Picard do in the captain's seat of the Battlestar Galactica?
There you go. That was just the general theme of my idea. I just threw.
Yes,
threw that one against the
I
wall.
like that idea. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
So we'll do that next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And of course, it is now shilling time. Please join Skep and Functional tonight on Minions with the Harry channel, and join us on Tuesdays with Skep as Keeper, and Hammer on Wednesdays as Keeper. And you're at 9, right, Hammer?
Yes, we're the only show that's at 9.
Okay.
Well, Quiz is kind of all over the place on Mondays, but he goes
Right.
between 8 and 11. So
Okay.
you have to keep up with him. But yeah, we're the only 9 o'clock show.
All right. And Irate, who are you interviewing tomorrow, sir?
It's Aunt Kathy, second helping.
Ooh,
Aunt Kathy. Yeah.
nice.
So it's dude, she's
And that's
a natural.
Adrastia's aunt, right?
exactly.
That's right.
And she's a shining star, a wonderful, very vibrant personality, very
Nice.
talkative, very southern. So yeah, we hit it off pretty good.
Yeah, the first one was really fun.
Thanks, I appreciate that. I had fun too. Okay, Kim Cattrall was who I was thinking about, and she played.
Mhm.
What did it say? I lost it. Lateris in the fifth movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Valeris was the name,
Valeris.
Bolaris. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, my friends. And of course, be sure to catch me back here on Monday with the coffee stream. And of course, keep an eye on Twitter and the community tab on the channel for when I go live over on Twitch.
Yay!
Yay!
Do we have a Canadian Wednesday coming up?
This Wednesday
We
is
should, yeah.
Canadian Wednesday. Yes.
Right.
That'll be fun. And also, buy a My Eyes mug. They're
God
fun.
damn it.
They're awesome. They're dishwasher and microwave safe. And they have eyes on them. It's awesome.
Eyes. In the dark, dark.
One moon circles.
One spoon circles.
Look, see? A My Eyes mug.
Well played, functional. Nobody else got that, but I got it.
I got it.
Eyes.
In the dark.
One spoon circles.
So yes, this is what you get when you buy a My Eyes mug. They are $19 Canadian, $15 American, and around 12 British pounds. So,
But in a couple of weeks, they'll be about $30 American.
Still remain at $20 Canadian though.
Yeah, exactly.
Pulling my collar because it's getting a little hot in here.
all right, my friends, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you for watching, and we will be back here next Saturday for more Star Trek. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Take care, people.